the rain couldn't dampen our spirits as the track work show returns this week ahead of the first Group 1 of the season, the Winx Stakes, which headlines a stacked card. And we have all the latest from the Warwick Farm trainers here on how their horses have worked ahead of the big day. What are you thinking with NCAP in the show, County?
Oh, look, I'm not sure we're going to race, to tell you the truth. I'm really concerned that this rain comes in today. The track's going to be unsafe, so I was hoping that there might be a plan B, so I accepted just in case there is a plan B. I'm not keen to run him on a bottomless surface, and particularly late in the day. I think, and I'm always looking for changes, and I think the model in England is a good one, where the good horses get the first use of the track, in particular when the track's a bit on the soft side. So we'd lovely to hold the Winx Stakes first race. I'm sure people still bet, but the best horses get the best surface, in particular when you get in this sort of weather and the tracks are a bit very heavy. So, but anyway, that doesn't help us this weekend. But yeah, I'm not keen to run him if we race Saturday. I'm just hoping there's a plan B.
How is he? He's one of my favourites, and I make no excuses about that. But how has he been? His trials have been great. Yeah, look, this is the first preparation for a long time where I've actually had him 110% right. He's got bad feet, and the farrier's always working on looking after his feet. It's the first time he's actually been 100%. The shoes have stayed on. He's getting good growth through his feet now, and he's not feeling anything, So I think we're in for a good prep, but he needs to be on top of the ground. And he trialled beautifully the other day at Warwick Farm, and he's in for a good prep, as I said. But just like everyone that's accepted for the weekend, it's going to be a different type of heavy track if we do race. So I'm not sure I'll run him. What's his target race this prep? More than likely the Epsom, I'd say, but as I say, if we keep missing races, we miss the missile now. Having him spot on and rock hard fit for a mile race could be a bit tricky, so it's up to the gods. Now, I've got a bit of a bone to pick with you about Queen of Clubs. I had her in the Black Book. I saw her at the very first 2-year-old trials, and then I think I heard you on radio mention that from the gate it was going to be a really hard task, but you got the lot, didn't you? Yeah, that was at Rose Hill the other day. Yes. Yeah, well, it was well played, wasn't it? Well played. We had a great result that day. All the owners came away with plenty the other day. It was a really good ride by Andrew Calder as well. She's a lovely filly. James McDonald came out and trialled her at the Warwick Farm trials, fell in love with her. She galloped brilliantly on Tuesday morning with NCAP, and I think she will handle a wet, so she's one that I'm not that concerned about heading into the weekend. Doesn't miss much, James, does he? No, he even come up to me yesterday at Warwick Farm to see how she worked on Tuesday morning, so he's right on it, and that's why he's the best. She was really nice as a 2-year-old filly, and you always said she'd be even better as a 3-year-old. She was just doing everything naturally. How has she improved this prep? She's always been very athletic, very strong filly. The only reason I raced her early was because she was so precocious and she could run, but she had no gate speed. She was always hitting the line strongly without actually catching the eye, but just chipping away. And we sort of earmarked the flight stakes very early on. And anyway, here we are on the preparation heading that way, and we're in good order. So this weekend will tell us a little bit more. I think 1200 on a really heavy track will fall into her lap more so than the speed horses that are best at 1200. It might feel like a 1400, and she's only had 2 weeks off since her win, so she's got residual fitness. And as I said, this preparation was seeing some unbelievable times come out in the clock, and she just does it like she's cantering. So yeah, pretty exciting. I like it. It's great to see you obviously with some Godolphin horses in the barn. You've got Parfumier. Would she be your first official Godolphin runner to step out if she does this weekend? Yes, well, I haven't had a runner yet, so whether she runs or not is another thing too. But I've got some really nice young horses in particular, some nice 2-year-olds. Some 2-year-olds just turned 3 that are unraced, and there's a nice horse called Matamar, a nice colt there by Lonhro. We really like him. So there's some beautiful horses to work with, and it's been an absolute dream to get the call up to train for Godolphin. I've been here at Warwick Farm for 30 years now, and I watched the evolution from Ingham's to Godolphin, and such a massive team and beautiful horses every morning, and to be part of the trainers team is a dream come true, and such an honour. So hopefully we get a few good wins for them during the carnival, and keep getting some more horses. Well, Matt, it's raining again, but we play on. What are you thinking with Winston Hills? You scratched him out of last week when we had that bottomless track as well. He's been trialling super. What's your thoughts? I think he handles the track okay, actually. And we have pushed him back a couple of weeks. He's had a trial in between
There's a good chance he'll run this week because we do need to get the preparation underway. So we're probably leaning towards running now. Just hopefully the rain stops, that's all.
Have you been happy with his work at home? His trials, obviously, as we touched on, have been impressive. What's he like this prep?
No, he's good. He's come back really good order. And look, it was his first sort of really full last preparation. And he toughed it out good. Probably had enough late in the prep, but come back sharp and bright. And yeah, I think he'll go to a good level this preparation. Generally go through his grades anyway.
Now, you got me there in the Coffs Cup. I was on Kieran's horse on Time Quest, albeit I was very pleased for you because I know he's a horse we've talked about quite a lot, and you always knew he had that ability. He's qualified now for the big dance. How's he come through the run and what's plans?
Yeah, no, come through the run great. Look, when he gets the right setup, he's a nice horse, but everything sort of has to go a little bit his way. He needs a good tempo, and he got that in the Coffs Cup, and he was great. Plan was to give him a trial this Friday, but they may not be on, and then run him on the 6th. And a benchmark 94, I think it is, at Randwick over the mile. He'll have a couple of runs leading into the big dance, but he looks great, the horse, and if he gets the right setup, you never know, he'll be in there somewhere.
Similar story with Headwall. You did have him in the trials there tomorrow. If they don't happen, do you have a plan B, and where will we see him likely resume?
So he'll resume in the Concord on the 6th, and we would like to get another trial under his belt, although I thought his first trial he showed he's fairly forward. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm sure that the club will program some group enlisted trials, hopefully Monday or Tuesday, and we can get that second trial under his belt and have him fully tuned up to run first up.
And just an update on Waltham as well. You mentioned you've got some news with him.
Yeah, look, unfortunately Waltham's had a setback and he's gone back to the paddock, and we won't probably see him till the autumn now. So that's a big blow because we've big plans for him to get to the Cup, but hopefully everything will settle down and we'll have him back in the autumn.
All right, Amy, we've got a little break in the rain, which is quite pleasant. Who would have thought? Let's take a look at this Saturday. We'll start actually with Lou, who I know you're a really big fan of. He's in at Randwick in the Goulburn Cup. What do you think there?
Look, he's far enough down the order of entry in the Goulburn Cup at this stage that we'd just keep an eye on both races. He's handle soft, but it's obviously going to be exceptionally heavy on Saturday, so we'll just likely accept for Goulburn, see how that pans out and make a call over the next couple of days, but he's in really good order.
That win was impressive at Randwick. He's a real gentleman at home, you said?
Yeah, no, he's definitely a firm favourite. We all fight over him. Lovely, gentle horse, and I think there's another couple of wins in him along the way.
And has he just been ticking over since that?
For sure, yeah. He's just been down at Bong Bong, had a couple of pieces of work, and his best to space his runs. So these two options at the weekend would be ideal.
And just on Bong Bong, when he's there, does he do a variety of different things during the week? I know you've got that uphill gallop, you've got the water walker, and you've got the chamber and all the interesting things there. Does he have quite a varied week?
He does, yeah. He does a bit of everything. The deep sand as well. The horse like that, nice big free-moving horse, the deep sand is great for them, so they go on that a couple of days a week and just go a little bit slower, but they're getting a little bit more out of it because it's deep. And yeah, like I would like to say that he's getting out to the paddock every day, but it's pretty wet at the moment. But yeah, when the weather allows, they get a good bit of paddock time down there, and that really helps them.
Always good for their mental state as well. Let's talk about Piggyback and Juju Kibo, who you're undecided with Piggyback about Queensland at this stage, but what are you leaning with Juju Kibo?
Look, he obviously ran last start, touched short of 2,000 metres, heavy 10. It was a proper heavy, but this is going to be to the extreme. Obviously going up again in trip, but I think everything points towards him handling it, and step up and trip should be no problem. Yeah, look, I'd say at this stage he will take his place. It's a shame that Piggy runs into him again because she's having an unbelievable preparation. She's been nothing but consistent. With her racing style, we can see that she kind of hits a flat spot inside the last 200, so stepping her up to the 24 will only be to her liking. She's also in Queensland over 2,200, so we'll just make a decision today as to where she goes, but she's in great order, he's in great order, so if we could at all keep them apart, that would be great.
It sometimes doesn't always work, does it? Let's talk about the big guns then. Light Infantryman and Gringotts both resuming in the Winx Stakes.
Yeah, very excited. Obviously would have preferred a bit of a better track for both, this being their starting point. But both horses are in fantastic order. They've started their preparations at Bob's Farm. James has done a wonderful job with them. They came into Warwick Farm, started this week, just to get back into the swing of the routine here, and they've been faultless. Light Infantry had a stretch of his legs. Gringotts has had a nice gallop at Newcastle on Saturday, which was a really nice piece of work, and couldn't fault either horse. They both look great.
What about Corniche in the show county? First run here for Godolphin.
Yeah, exciting horse. He was fantastic last start, and he's been at Bob's Farm as well, up with James. He had a gallop last Saturday as well, which went well, and excited to see him at the races. I think track conditions will only help him. He's a lovely big scopy horse, and looking forward to seeing him.
And then we'll just touch on Jimmy Star as well. I went and saw him at Bob's Farm before he came out and had his first trial. He's since had another trial, so he's had the 2 trials back in, but he looks like he's coming on beautifully. Yeah, no,
he's in a really, really good spot. Has a little bit of cleaning up to do in his coat, which is exciting because obviously his trials have been really, really good. He's come through that most recent trial in really good order. He's had a good week. We'll just see how he is into next week before firming up where he goes first up, but really happy with him.
All right, Luke, well, you've been left here in the rain as Björn has his sojourn over to Paris. How's he going?
Yeah, good. He's going to arrive back this morning to some ordinary weather, but they had a really good time, and were able to have a bit of luck at the sales too, purchasing Arapo's half-brother, so it's pretty exciting.
Oh, great. I didn't know that. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is. No, it's pretty cool. So he'll probably stay over there for a little bit. I think he's going to head to Ireland and then hopefully come over.
Beautiful. Okay, well, let's talk about your runners this weekend. Point and Shoot, J-Mac on first up.
Yeah, he's in really good order. He's actually come on from his trials. He's had 2 good trials, and he's obviously going to need a touch further potentially, but on a testing track, it's probably going to play a little bit more like 1400. So, yeah, whether he handles a heavy 10 or what we're going to have on Saturday or not, I'm not sure, but he's in really good shape. So we're excited to get him back to the races.
Within the Law also resumes in the Silver Shadow off that 1 trial. How's she come back as a 3-year-old?
Yeah, she's a little bit stronger. Jason's been really pleased with her. Her work's been good. Obviously, just with the trials getting cancelled, we're going to have to go in with 1 trial. But we're thinking of a long preparation for her, and she had a long preparation last time. So she's pretty tough. We'll kick off on Saturday, and if she's hitting the line, we'll be on the right path.
Bonita Queen, she's had 2 trials under her belt, and we see her in the toy show.
Yeah, she's actually had 3, so she's in really good shape. She had that extra one on Monday, and we were looking at scratching last week. Well, we scratched last week with the sort of rain-affected track, but it's a little bit different setup this week, being a stakes race. She could be a valuable mare if she can get some black type, and I just think there's a few that are sort of first up as well that might find it a little bit tough to make up ground on this very testing track. So we're probably looking at running with no weight on her and might be able to sneak into a hole.
Was Rach pleased to jump off the plane and know that she's aboard Arapaho in the Winx Stakes this weekend, no doubt?
Yeah, I think that's got her through the whole time in Japan, waiting to get back to see him. So he's in fantastic order. Another one that's going in with only 1 trial, but he's had a couple of good gallops at home, and he's going to appreciate, obviously, getting out over further, and we've got a nice long preparation plan for him as well. But the testing conditions will definitely bring him into it. He gets through a wet track. So, yeah, he always runs well in these races, but he's not out of it on a heavy check.
And then your 2 with Race Fitness, Robusto and War Eternal on the backup?
Yeah, going to mean a lot this weekend, especially if we run Saturday. War Eternal we'll probably accept for the Goulburn Cup, and we'll just have a good look at the race between now and Saturday, and maybe even 7:29 on Saturday to see what happens. But he's a fit horse, he's going well, he's in a great frame of mind, and he doesn't mind getting his toe in the ground, so that's going to carry him a long way. And same with Robusto, he's going really well. I'm not sure a real heavy track is to his liking, but he's a fit horse, and he couldn't be any a happier horse at the moment. So I think that's the main thing with him. He's feeling well, and he's really looks really well at home.
Speaking of looking well, Steffi, I noticed Björn on radio mentioned the other day, he's much more pleased with how she presents this time in. She can always look a little bit fluffy in the coat. How is she?
Yeah, she looks fantastic, which is probably going to please a few of the yard watchers, but we only said the other day if she doesn't measure up, we'll be looking for the ugly coat back. But she's in really good order. I think she's got a nice plan and a nice setup. We're probably likely to resume in the Theo marks. I know Björn will maybe have a look at the Chiraco in a couple of weeks, but at this stage probably looking at the Theo marks. And she's had 2 trials already. We may even look at giving her a third one, and she'll go into that race really wound up.
Well, Dan, it's good to chat to you. I think this is our first official interview at track work. Let's look to the weekend. Cormac T and Funambulous, you've both got there in race 3, both with the benefit of the race fitness.
Yeah, spot on, exactly right. They both are fit horses. Cormac T probably hasn't had everything go right, I guess, in his races, his preparation, but he's had a consistent preparation. So we're looking forward to seeing him line up once again. And of course, Funambulous, the old boy, he's a little bit of a stable favourite. Of course, bounced back to winning form last start. He'll obviously love the conditions. He's a fit horse as well, and I think with a repeat dose of his last start performance, he's certainly in the mix once again.
What do you think about this Nelly Laylax in the Premier's Cup? Has been racing in Melbourne, comes up here?
Yeah, exactly right. Of course, he started his campaign here and then went down to Melbourne to find suitable races for him. And now that the rain's arrived, we can bring him back up. So he's arrived here safely. Looking forward to seeing him line up. He's probably not necessarily all that well treated, I guess, at the weights in the race. But he's a fit horse, as I said, 2,000 metre suits and certainly rain-affected conditions.
Yoshinobu, you elected to scratch out of last weekend. Wait for the Goulburn Cup?
Yeah, look, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because we saw him perform, I guess, below par last start on such a heavy track, and as you can see, there's a fair bit of rain around as well. So we've sort of had to, I guess, give him multiple options. We've even sort of, I guess, had options up our sleeve down in Melbourne as well. It has been a tough one. We just don't want to run off the back of a performance like that, I guess, with conditions not to suit. So we'd certainly give some consideration to the Goulburn Cup, but there's certainly options beyond that as well.
Lots of moving parts. So I know that you're here now. You're actually based at the Southern Highlands, but you're here at Warwick Farm. You've also got the Eagle Farm stable. Then you've got Flemington and Scone. So it must be all hands on deck at the moment.
Yeah, I'm going grey pretty quickly. But the team do a phenomenal job. Annabelle and Rob, they've got their finger on the pulse. It's quite incredible. So joining the team and witnessing all that unfold, it's been pretty impressive, and I'm looking forward to spring.
No doubt we'll be chatting a lot.
Thank you.
All right, Joe, let's start off by asking how Private Eye is.
Yes, super. I'm really happy with him. So great result there to win the PB Lawrence on Saturday. Travelled home Sunday night. That's easy for him. That was his 13th interstate trip, and it's just a breeze. He gets on the float, he has a little snooze, and he wakes up and he's back here in Sydney. So very good.
Such a genuine horse. Has he always just been easy to do everything with?
He has, really. Yeah, he's been a dream to train and a fantastic experience for the owners. He's probably go the tramway. Haven't given up on running him in the Memsey. I'll nominate him for it, but we'll keep an eye on the weather, and there's going to be a lot of changes next few weeks just with alternative plans that people are going to be making with this wet weather in Sydney. So it'll be interesting to see how both the tramway and the Memsey come up.
One who you've mentioned won't have an alternative plan, that is Cheowolf, resuming this weekend. I noticed you mentioned this week he's a bit more forward this time, and you've got him a bit lighter.
I wouldn't even think it's a fitness thing so much as a condition thing. He was carrying plenty of condition early on that prep, and he was racing really well, but he was over some shorter races as well. So with getting him out to a mile second up in mind, got him reasonably forward and fit for this, and it's going to be interesting to see who lines up there on Saturday, but if they run on Saturday, he'll definitely be there.
Cogwalen looks well placed this weekend.
Yeah, lovely horse. Been really easy to deal with. Gave him a little tick over trial on Monday at Canterbury, which I was very happy with. He seemed to be moving well. Didn't put much pressure on him being race week, but he'll race well there on Saturday.
And you'll line up with El Hudson as well?
Yes, wet tracker, a real one-paced grinding stayer who ran quite well at Wyong on Sunday, and I think that quick turnaround will really suit him.
Where's El Costello at in the prep?
Trialling tomorrow if they trial, which I'm hoping they will.
And what do you make of him? I know he's a horse that you got obviously from Anthony Cummings. We saw what he was able to do. He had a long injury layoff. What's he been like as a horse to manage?
Very cool horse, just lovely. Yeah, a really nice horse to handle and all quality. So he's got a little bit of character about him, which you expect with a colt, a 4-year-old stallion. But he's been a dream to deal with so far, and I think he's going really well. So it won't be a big testing trial for him here tomorrow, but just a day out for him, and good chance he'll resume in the Theo marks.